Well, welcome back to another episode of A Day in the Life of a Bootstrap Real Estate Investor. I'm your host, Ryan Nickel, and this is episode number 95. Can you believe that? 95 episodes. All right, so I'm just driving back from looking at a property, actually looking at 3 properties. It's all good. Love it. Some will, some won't. So what? Move on to the next. So when to show compassion and when to flex. So a while back, if you've been following my videos from day one, way back in the day, earlier this year in January, you'll recall that my wife and I had a little friendly dispute about who we should let into one of our rental properties. Because most of the properties we have are rent to own. They put down money, a nice large down payment, and then if they pay, they can stay. If they don't, then that's okay. We have a nice down payment to go ahead and float us while we make the monthly payments, and then go ahead and put someone else in that property. So this was a rental property, so this was a straight up just deposit, nothing, that's it. And I can't believe this truck just blew this red light. Oh my gosh. Big old semi. Just because they honk their horn doesn't mean that people are like, oh, okay, he honked his horn, he can go through a red light. I digress. So we had this nice little friendly, banter back and forth about why I thought this family would be good to move into this house. She's like, no, that's a bad idea for a numerous reasons, too many to recount here. Needless to say, they've only been in the house for 3 months and they haven't paid 1 penny this month. I should say that, I shouldn't say, at all this month. They are low income. The county has been paying for their rent. They paid for their deposit, and they had to pay, county paid 90%, they paid 10%. County is now out of the equation, and it's up to themselves, and guess what? They are not paying. So, lesson learned, 1 point for wife. Christina gets 1 point, Ryan gets 0. Here we are in another property. We did not have a discussion on this one, but so going back up. So I have flexed on this couple, and I said, look, this is what you got. She kicked the husband out, the boyfriend, whatever. She kicked him out, and she has the money, supposedly. She's going to pay me tomorrow. Well, there's already, I've given her 3-day pay or quit notice that basically she has until Sunday, but she's like, look, I'm out of town right now. I'm up in the area where I have no cell reception. I'm like, well, how'd you call me? She's like, I drove 2 hours. Or like 25 minutes or some crazy thing like that. I could barely even hear her. It was all sketchy, and she texted me back and forth. So anyway, if she gets there by Sunday, perfect. If not, we'll have a discussion on Monday. But I flexed real hard on her and let her know exactly what's going to happen with that, because they're month to month anyway. So I've already given her. I served her a 30-day pay or quit and a 30-day notice. So regardless, end of the month, they're gone. If it's that easy. So anyway, going back now, there's another family that I have. They've been in the property for less than a month, and only 2 weeks, and they missed their payment on the first of the month. The first was on a Saturday. He's like, hey man, it's a Saturday. I didn't realize it's on a Saturday. I don't get paid till Monday. I'm like, hey, no problem. Call me on Monday. Monday didn't happen, so I texted him on the 4th. I'm like, hey man, you never called me. He's like, oh, you know what? It's a holiday. My boss is, he wasn't here on Monday. He's gone. He took a long weekend. Blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, so what does that mean? He's like, well, my boss does the payroll. Okay, so that was the 4th. The 5th happened, nothing. So on the 6th, I'm like, all right, bud, you're late. Here's your 3-day pay or quit. And he's like, you won't understand what happened. My wife had a miscarriage. My car broke down. My boss is... How come people always want to call me when I'm doing these videos? And anyway, he's like, tell me all this sob story, like all this horrible stuff. Like, I mean, I get it, man. We lost a child earlier this year. In January we had a miscarriage. It was really hard. I totally understand. I've never met him. My wife was the one that did all the paperwork with him and stuff like that. So I never met. I don't know if his wife was pregnant or not. I asked my wife, I'm like, hey, was she pregnant? She's like, I don't know how many weeks. I'm like, 18? She's like, well, 4 months pregnant? She didn't look pregnant to me. So again, I don't know, but still. So I flexed on this dude really hard. I told him, hey, you know what? Here's what you need to do. Today is the 8th. I said, Saturdays, 3 days pay or quit, bro. You got to get out. He's like, look, man, I cried myself to sleep. My wife was the one holding me. I was holding her when we lost our child. Now she's holding me because I don't want to lose this house. Granted, he's done a great job cleaning it up. It needed a lot of work, and he sent me pictures along the way, so I know he's working on the house, and it looks great. And I'm like, man, this is really good. I'll be able to, get this thing rented for more money this time. But that's not what I'm thinking here. So today I had this this thought. I'm like, you know what? I need to be compassionate with this guy. I can flex all I want on this other couple, but this guy I need to be a little bit compassionate with. So, and he does everything through Messenger. He doesn't like to talk on the phone. He's a real shy kind of a guy. And I'm like, you know what? We need to have a man-to-man conversation. So I called him up today, and I said, look, man, here's the deal. I'm not going to come kick you out of your house. By the way, another side note here. Yes, this is not a home that I own. I actually am managing this one for another couple until I have the right to buy it. I don't have the right to buy it yet. We're working out some title issues on this one, but I have the right to manage it. So I'm managing it, and I'm like, look, man, I'm just doing a job here, but I'm not going to come down on a Saturday. That's my family day. So tell you what. Because he's going to rent a U-Haul. He's like, look, man, I don't want any problems. I'm exhausted. My wife and I, if we can't stay here because my boss is screwing things up for our family and our life, they have a kid, I just don't want to fight anymore. I mean, this is a guy who's kind of lost his will. He's like, look, I just don't want to fight anymore. We'll be out. I'm going to borrow money from my sister, and I'll go get her U-Haul, and I'll be out Sunday afternoon. Just, give us that much time, Monday afternoon at the latest. I'll call in sick kind of thing. And I'm like, look, man, I'm not going to come beat on your door on a Saturday afternoon or on a Sunday afternoon. If you got the money, if your boss actually says he's going to do payroll on Friday, and gave you guys all your checks on Monday, it's the same thing as me kicking you out, as you paying on to me, it's the same. It's one and the same. But do not confuse my kindness for weakness, because I will come down hard on you and your wife and your kid. I'm like, are we understood? Because if that's the case, you might as well go ahead and get your U-Haul today and pack it up over the weekend. He's like, no, man. He's like, thank you so much. He's like, this has never happened in the 4.5 years that I've worked with him. He's never forgotten payroll like this, blah, 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 blah. I don't know this guy, but I felt that it was the right thing to do. And so I can't tell you what to do in your business, with your properties, with your livelihood, with your money. Fortunately, we're in a position now where I don't need this money. If it were, a couple months back where I needed every single penny coming in, yeah, man, I flex hard on people, because that's my money, man. That's my kids' money. That's food for my family. Fortunately enough, we had food stamps back in the day. But now I have the luxury and the flexibility to be a little bit compassionate with this guy. And I'll tell you what happens on Monday. I don't know. I honestly want to give him the benefit of the doubt, and it'll be the first opportunity where I actually get to meet him face to face, man to man, and just see what the deal is. But anyway, sometimes you flex, sometimes you have a heart, and sometimes your heart gets in your way. Like with this couple that I had, the one where the wife threw the husband out. I had too big of a heart. I saw them, I saw their problems, I overlooked their problems because they had kids and they needed a place to stay because they had lost their other place. And the sad thing about it was I felt obligated to rent to them, because the other place that they lost, I had sold to him. I had sold him a trailer in a trailer home, in a trailer park, and his mom was going to move in with him, but his mom was like 54 years old and not 55, and they were really sticklers on 55 years old. And so he bought it without being approved with the park. He did a bunch of work on it. The park took it over. At least that's the story that I was told. And so I felt like, oh, you know what? This guy, he needs a break in life. And I wanted to give him that break, and that break didn't turn out to be such a good break for him or for me. So anyway, just remember, when you're out there doing this stuff, you have the power to flex, to be hard on people, to draw that line in the sand. You also have the power to be compassionate and to give someone a break when they need it. But with all that said, you're just one deal away. Just remember that. You are just one financial deal away from changing your entire financial future. It's amazing at how awesome this business is and how fast you can grow rich in this. Real estate is the last great equalizer for taking common men like myself and helping us to become financially free. Because other than that, I'm not going to go invent something. I'm not a tech whiz. I'm not going to be over in Silicon Valley, waiting for my startup to go public with my IPO. That's not who I am. I'm just a hardworking guy that understands finance and how to buy these houses and sell them for profit. So anyway, I'm Ryan Nickel, and just remember, you're in control of your financial future. Enjoy your weekend.